What's up, y'all? Mike here. Welcome back for another devotional. This week we're going to be looking at Matthew 14, verse 13 and 14. It says this. Now, when Jesus heard this, speaking of, John the Baptist being beheaded, he withdrew himself in a boat to a desolate place by himself. But when the crowd heard it, they followed him on foot from the towns. And when he went ashore, he saw a great crowd, and he had compassion on them and healed their sick. Right, one of my favorite scriptures, and one of the only things that I really remember from going to church as a child, is the story of Mark 2. There's 4 guys, and one of them is paralyzed, and they hear that Jesus is in town, so they bring him to his house, they climb on the roof, they dig a hole, and they drop him down, and miraculously, he is healed. And this is such a powerful story because it shows us we can put ourselves into the story. We can feel it and experience the struggle with them, and even some of the difficulties and maybe even some embarrassment that they might have felt, and kind of risking their reputation for their friend. But what I see in Scripture is that story, I think, it's more like the norm than we like to think. It's not actually all that unique. And we just read in Matthew 14, right? There's crowds and crowds of sick people out in this desolate place. Well, how did the sick people get out to the desolate place? How did they travel all that way, given that they're so sick? Well, they didn't. The people brought them. And I got to believe that many of them will probably carry just like that man in Mark 2. And the thing is that we don't get the details. So it's so easy to jump over the journey and just to picture crowds of sick people surrounding Jesus in this vast field, but there was a long journey to get there. And so I look at this, and I look at Mark 2, we just see that no journey is too far, right? No sacrifice is too big. It is worth it. These people, they had people to carry them to Jesus, that healing comes through community. Without community, they would be sitting alone in their home somewhere. But healing comes through community. In a lot of ways, the community is our healing. So that leads me to the question, who are you carrying to Jesus? And how far are you willing to go to get them there? God bless you. Let's get after it this week.